Greetings, Commanders, and welcome back to the Deep Space Carrier series here in Elite Dangerous. I started my carrier jump a little early today, and it's about to jump here in a minute. So we're going to hang out here, wait for that to actually take off, and then we'll do our 13 jumps to catch up with it, two carrier jumps from here. So ideally, for one of the first times ever, we're going to be able to start an episode where we can see the carrier and end the episode landing on the carrier. Assuming we don't get sidetracked by, pesky things like crazy exobiology and, things like that. We're going to sit here and wait for that. While we're waiting for that, we'll go ahead and bring up the Elite Dangerous star map so that you guys can see what we got going on. We left the bubble and went down to the southern meridian here, made our way through the... the Alluring Sisters or something over, the Alluring Siren over here, and we're on our way over here to this set of 3 waypoints over here, which represent the western meridian from the bubble. So, we're just waiting on this carrier jump to happen, and then we will begin our trip over to where we're going to catch up with the carrier, trying to hopefully find some exobiology along the way. But, 10 seconds left to go. I have to continue talking so that my software doesn't cancel anything. So let's go ahead and wait for this to happen, watch the cool, awesome effect, and then once that's done, we'll get out of here. So, there's that. It's a really cool effect. I think that's watching the carrier just kind of morph through a little wormhole like that is, one of the more interesting things that you can see. You can also see it coming back the other way. I think I had a video before where I happened to come back right when it was actually showing up, and it threw it in at the end of a recording. So there you go. Carrier's all gone. Let's go ahead and get out of here, and we can start getting on our way. All right, this system has 42 bodies in it, so we're just going to go ahead and go on to the next one. For those of you who are new to the series, which, statistically speaking, is probably most of you, I only stop and scan a system if there are 20 bodies or less, just because I'm not a big fan of the full spectrum system scanner. And we boost into the star to maximize our fuel scooping. I'll try to remember to bring you guys back and show you that. Okay, like I said, we boost into the star and then turn it off as soon as we see the star really starting to move. That gets us into max fuel scooping as quickly as possible, so that when we have another system like this, we can just immediately start frameshift driving. Also, I'm trying to remember towards the beginning of episodes instead of at the end to let you guys know that we are pushing towards 10,000 subscribers. So be sure to click that subscribe button right now before you forget, and hit that like button so that YouTube will push it out to everybody else as well. Audience participation is a major component, so sorry, you guys actually have to do something. That's the way it works. Okay, we have 8 bodies in this system, so let's pitch down until we get hopefully outside or below the plane of the system so that the star isn't in the way, and we can do a quick little scan of all the bodies in this system with our glorified binoculars here, because that's basically what the full spectrum system scanner is functionally. You're going like this and then pressing the button to zoom in. That's all this really is. Glorified futuristic binoculars for your ship. So I'm not expecting to find anything here. 8 bodies. I mean, there's some biology, but it's all single biology. And if you know anything about, my experience with this game, single biology is almost always bacteria, which is boring and not really worth our time. So we're just going to go ahead and move on because, we don't get enough. If we got more information about it to give us, the odds as to whether it was going to be something more complicated than that, then, it might be worth our time to go check it out. But all we get is that there's a single biology, and statistically speaking, the vast majority of those are going to be bacteria. So it's just not worth our time to go check out icy bodies or pretty much any bodies that just have a single biology on it, because it might have something cool on it, but statistically it's not going to. Okay, 10 bodies in this system as well, so let's finish up the fuel scoop here. Somehow I didn't get a decent fuel scoop in the last one or something, because I ended up having a fuel scoop a really long time for that one. We will hop into the full spectrum system scanner. We have a single high metal content world, so I will be looking for that as I go through the scan here. Okay, only the one single high metal content planet in this system just had 3 geological and no biology, so unfortunately no stratum tectonicus for us. The rest of them were just icy bodies with some geological stuff on it. Some of them had geological, the rest of them were just kind of nothing. So moving on to the next system. 9 bodies in this system, so again, we'll go down below the plane and hope that we find something interesting. We have icy bodies and a couple of high metal content worlds, it looks like. So we'll check these out and see what we got. Unfortunately, there are no biological sources in this system, but we have 8 more attempts to hopefully find something cool. So cross your fingers and let's see what happens. Actually, we need to stop and schedule our next carrier jump because I lost track of time and forgot that, hey, we actually were able to do our jump at the beginning of the episode. So I probably could have had 3 or 4 minutes worth of stuff happening on the timer happening because I just wasn't paying attention. And yeah, sometimes I do that. I have a very short attention span. That's just kind of the way that works. And now, so 15-ish minutes probably until the carrier actually makes it to our destination. And because we only have 8 jumps left to go, unless we find something really cool, we might actually get there before the carrier is going to get there. And I'm not going to make you guys wait for that. Okay, 9 bodies in this system, so let's see what we can see here. Looks like we're not going to find anything in this system either, so continuing on, 7 more jumps to go, and I don't know, it's starting to look a little not exciting at this point. 6 bodies in this one, and I can actually see the plane of the system this time, so we can go straight down, get out of the area of fuel scooping, and then we can do our full spectrum system scan, just like we do in every system that we've done so far. We have a high metal content world and a water world, so we'll definitely have something to scan at least, because water worlds are definitely worth your time to just fly over and scan, because you don't have to do the planetary landing part. You can just do the probes, and you don't even have to wait for the probes to finish scanning before you can start charging your frameshift drive, which is super convenient. So we'll target that water world, and then let's try to get the rest of the scans here done. Looks like we got 1 more high metal content, no biology, which means we're just going to go scan our water world over here. We'll boost towards the water world and wait until our ETA drops down to 2 or 3 seconds. Kind of depends. Sometimes 2 or 3 seconds ends up being too much like that time, but that's okay. Worst comes to worst, you just pull away and then don't add throttle again. You pull away and then you turn back in, and by the time you turn back, it should be at 6 seconds, which, if you're not using your Super Cruise assist, should be plenty. There should be the right number there. When it works. Okay, we have 7 probes is our ideal number of probes, or efficient, or whatever it is. We're just going to go ahead and do 6 because I have the expanded probe radius. So we can do our standard backwards, north, south, east, and west, and then 1 in the front. We don't even have to wait. We can go ahead, target the next system en route, charge our frameshift drive, and by the time we head off to the next planet, those probes should be done. We get our scan and move on to the next system. So yeah, we just wait for the efficiency bonus thing. There you go, efficiency target popped up, and we immediately jump, and out we go. You can get super efficient with the processes here, despite the things they put in the way to just artificially make it take longer. There's a lot of stuff in this game where conscious decisions were made to force things to take longer than they probably need to. I'm pretty bitter about it sometimes, but it is what it is. You gotta if you want to enjoy the game, if you want to enjoy the rest of the game, you have to put up with the crap that they gave you. So that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. We got 10 bodies in this system, so we'll go ahead and hop down to the bottom of the system here, slow it down, full spectrum system scanner. It looks like icy stuff for the most part, which means that there's not going to be, almost certainly not going to be something super interesting here. We've got single biology there. You know, it could be Recepta, but the odds are that it's not, and you know, you gotta have your own, you gotta have your personal filters on how you decide to do things. And my personal filter is, I'm not going to anything that has a single biology, because it's just, I don't know, it's not worth my time to me. We'll finish scanning this, and then we'll move on to the next one, because I'm getting that vibe that there's just nothing here. It's going to be, you know, maybe 1 more single biology planet. Yeah, I had a feeling there was going to be nothing. So off we go to the next one. We have 5 jumps left to go, so 5 more opportunities for cool things to show up. Gotta keep those fingers crossed and hope for the best. Whoa, 52 bodies in this system, so we're definitely not hanging out here. Get that frameshift drive charging, and hopefully the next system has a little bit better options for us. 17 bodies here, so we'll definitely be scanning this particular system. I'm also thinking that once we make it to the last system where the carrier is going to be, we'll check and see what the time is, and if it's not too long, I'll just kind of hang out and wait in non-recording mode, and then we can end the episode on the carrier. If it's only going to be like a few minutes, then, you know, I'll hang out and wait. But I do have other videos I need to record, so like if it's going to be 10, or if it's still going to be like 10 minutes or something like that, then not going to be... Whoa, what was that? 3 biological sources on a rocky body. Probably not worth our time. It's going to be bacteria, one of the grass species, maybe a fungoida or a concha. You know, it's just... That's the problem with exobiology is, you know, if it didn't take so long to go down the gravity well, then it wouldn't be such a big deal. But it's just going down to a planet is just kind of a pain in the butt. So it's just, you know, if they had like a super glide or something like that that quickly took you down to the surface so that it didn't take quite so long, and if they made it easier to, you know, find the stuff on the ground from your ship, and you know, if they just made it to where you could speed up the process a little bit, that would be worth it. But I don't know, just for me, especially with, because I mean, your perspective changes the more you do this stuff. The more you go through and do exobiology, the less and less patience you have for steps in the process that take longer and longer and longer. And I'm gonna have to do a little bit of a redirect because I wasn't paying attention and ended up overshooting a little bit. So you don't necessarily have to do a full loop of shame, especially in this ship, because the maneuvering in this thing is insane. But you do have to end up doing something like a C of shame, where you kind of make a C shape to go back and get back on target and slow your speed down. Anyways, like I was saying, your perspective changes over the course of the more and more you do something. And, you know, at some point you start saying, I really don't want to spend all this extra time doing this stuff. You know, after thousands of times landing on planets, I kind of want to just avoid that process as much as I can, because it's you know, much like the full spectrum system scanner, it's just a fiddly process that requires you to constantly be paying attention, and I don't want to have to do that. I want to just kind of cruise, and you know, I don't mind it taking time to do these things, but the developers went out of their way to make everything you do require active input, and I don't know, that's just not fun to me. So, you know, that's just how I feel about it. We're going to slow down here, because I was not paying attention and forgot about the fact that we're sitting here trying to do a planetary scan so we can find out what's on here. Realistically, we're probably not going down to this planet because it's going to have bacteria, obviously. Probably either tussock or frutexa, maybe some concha or some concha or osseous, something like that. I'm assuming a rocky body with 3 biological sources, maybe some stratum, but it's going to be the poopy stratum. Okay, yeah, so the tussock is the grass, the bacterium is the bacteria, and then stratum on a rocky world is going to be the green poop version that's not really worth that much money, and it's not interesting at all to look at. So we're just going to go ahead and head off to the next system and hope that maybe we find something better. The other one that had 3 biology on it is almost certainly going to have the same 3 species on it, or something very similar to that, because the developers went with the panspermia approach to putting biology in the system, and so yeah, the stuff that's there is all based off of the same stuff. So you're going to find the same things on all the planets for the most part. Maybe a couple of variations, but usually it's all the same stuff. So we'll go ahead and do our boost into the star, find out if we're even going to bother with this system. 17 bodies, yeah, we'll stop for that. We got to add some time onto, I mean, we don't have to like arbitrarily add time, but we do need to add some time onto our arrival to our system, so that hopefully we can catch up and get the other side of the carrier landing there. So that does mean, though, that if we want to catch it actually arriving, that means we need to get there before it actually gets there. So I should probably check and see how much time is left, and then we can decide, you know, how much more time and effort we're going to put into scanning things, because I think it would be kind of cool to start the episode with a carrier departure and end the episode with a carrier arrival. Icy body with 2 biological sources statistically is going to have bacteria and space mushrooms. Yeah, bacteria and space mushrooms. So again, yeah, all these icy bodies with 2 biological sources, bacteria and space mushrooms. You know, it's not nothing, but especially since we have something more interesting to go do when we're done here. I don't necessarily want to go down there for that, so you know, I'm just gonna bypass it. Geological, another nope, no geologicals and nothing. All right, so we're just gonna go. Well, hold on. Let's check our carrier management and see how much time is left for this jump. We have 3 minutes left to go. They're already about to lock down the pad, so we have 2 jumps left until we're going to be done here. I'm on the fence. If we get into a system, and if we get into the next system and there's something there, I mean, I guess we don't even have, there's no, oh, helps to actually do things the right way, huh? There's no point in speculating, I guess. Let's get into the next system. If it ends up being 1 or 2 bodies and there's nothing to scan, then we don't even have a question. If it's like 20, if it's more than 20, there's nothing to scan. If there's something there for us to scan, we only have 3 minutes to get that done and then get over to where the carrier is going to be. So I'm not sure how I feel about it. I mean, obviously I kind of want to find something cool, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. We got to hurry up. All right, yeah, so only 9 bodies. It's a good chance that we'll be able to just get through this real quick and then head over to where the carrier is going to be. I don't, especially since it's all like icy stuff, the odds of anything interesting being here are pretty small. So we're just going to blast through this real quick and then move on to the next system, so that our destination system where the carrier is going to be. So that way we can, you know, watch the carrier show up, because that's kind of a cool effect. There are 8 bodies in this system. Maybe we'll go ahead and try to, of course, might not have time for this. We have 8 bodies in this system, and it was 3 minutes, so realistically it shouldn't be that bad. We should have time. We should have time for this. Come on. I don't want to miss it, though. So we will try to quickly... never mind, it's behind the sun anyways. Let's go ahead and head over to where the carrier is going to be. And it's behind the star, so yeah, there's always that. We're going to boost to where we can get line of sight. And then we will do our quick drop method, as I always do. So that way we can watch the carrier show up, because it should be coming in pretty quick. I'm not sure at what point they generate the location for this. I imagine once they lock, I imagine it's probably when they lock down the carrier and you're at the point where you kind of can't take it back, that they do this. But yeah, I'm getting way too close. I want to be at like 5 kilometers. I don't think it really matters. But at 5 kilometers, we should be able to see the whole process and not have it like off the edge of our screen or whatever. So let me back up to the point where we're at about 5 kilometers. That'll give us a nice, decent view of the entire process. And yeah, I'll bring you back when I start to hear some noises. Oh, never mind. It's coming in right now. We just made it. We just made it right now. So yeah, I have to keep talking so that my recording software doesn't pause. But yeah, look at that. How cool is this process? It just emerges out of nothing as you watch it sliding in from right to left, coming out of the cloud and showing up all majestic and amazing, just as it should. So once that's done and it stops there, we'll be able to request our docking, get put on board, and then I will wait for the cooldown to schedule the next jump so that we can move it another 500 light years. So it's done. We'll request our docking. Let's go ahead and start moving in towards the carrier. We have a landing pad 11, so I will go ahead and approach the landing pad. And then, yeah, that's going to be it for today's episode. Hopefully you guys had lots of fun. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe to help us reach 10,000 subscribers. You can join as a member for early access to videos, among other perks, or you can just leave YouTube's version of a tip with that thanks button. I also have PayPal and Patreon links in the description if you prefer to go that route, because some people like to go outside of carrier, outside of YouTube to help out with channels like this one. So again, thank you very much for your time. Be sure to come back for our next video, and I'll see you then.